Should I call it?
And I got a demo I'll do. It's a different
Okay.
vein. We don't normally do these, but I've been thinking a lot about abstract models and trying to get that to work. That's gonna be, and maybe I should another call out too. Thank you, Stephen, for helping me think about abstract models. But I was trying to think of a good example for it. So I had, and thank you, Chris, for helping me get access to our Snowflake data. But Snowflake billing and usage might be a good place to start. So I built a dashboard on our Snowflake data. This one maybe I don't know if we want to. We probably don't want to post this, or maybe I don't know. I don't think there's any.
I'll
This is
just
our
post it.
data, but
I mean,
yeah,
I'll see what it
yeah,
looks like. But
yeah. And no, actually,
yellow.
the dashboard looks a little bit gross. I built it on a much bigger monitor, so it looked a little bit better than this. But and then maybe another thing for us to think about over time too. Now that I'm demoing on my laptop, but basically built it was incredibly easy to actually build this dashboard. I followed a blog post that Snowflake had where they recommended a bunch of metrics and things or ways to break down the data to look at too that I built up, and the model actually ends up being really pretty darn small on top of the base schema here. But the nice part about it is as we have these modeled constructs, you could basically build an abstract model, and this can become sort of a templated version of analysis. So you can actually create like these things like the credit sums or just sums on dimensions. But basically, we could pre-build them so that as we have content that could be installable as well, it could be referenced on top of it too. So sort of block like for folks. Yeah, and like I guess maybe one interesting meta thing. I expected actually demo to be our biggest use by far, and it's actually not. Like our own internal use and I think some of this is programmatic stuff, so like loading of data and DBT jobs that are doing like transformation to enable us. So it's not all pure ad hoc, but even still, our actual internal use is bigger than our demo instance, which is kind of interesting. But it's a small data set.
And how would one install this in the future?
So when I get it's definitely not possible today.
Yeah.
What we'll do uh, is we'll have when we have the ability to have abstract models, and we've got a PR, we're working on it now. We just have that basically the core assumption is that models are tied. So we do have abstract models; they're just tied to specific connections, which you wouldn't really want in these cases. Too, you want sort of a more abstract thing, a true templated thing too, that's not directly tied to a specific piece. In this case, I don't know if it's a huge deal. You could just create, install an abstract model that's tied to your Snowflake connection, and you basically would copy and paste in view files. We want to make that really easy for folks, though, so that it's going to be easy to, reference a remote Git repo that has an abstract model that you pull into your instance, and then have a reference where you extend that remote, abstract or templated model on your own individual Snowflake piece that would basically reference all of the underlying views that would be basically extended together, and then having content similarly as well. So we've got a ways to go for the full templated piece, but the foundations are starting to be put in place.
Okay, so that was my question. There's two things going on here, right? One, you've
Yeah,
got the abstract model, and the other is you've actually got some content built on top of the abstract model.
yeah.
And so I'm curious where those things live, or at least what the vision is to. I get the like, yeah, I can pull the abstract model down from Git and to get that loaded into my, into my model space.
And
Um,
then honestly too, it's giant hand wave,
okay.
content sits inside Git and is importable, or, at least referenceable by the instance. But I think we clearly have to have version controlled content, and we clearly have to have uh, some mechanism for content to be installable, which we kind of do. We actually have, like, Chris's
Yeah,
APIs have
exactly.
effectively like a spec for it, and we don't have the Git integration part there, but like we have a means to export and import pieces of content, which you could build on top of the abstract model in a way where it's all, and you could sit it inside the same Git repo and have it all be, sort of seamlessly managed. So like we've got a lot of the foundational pieces there. We just don't have the sort of final, last mile,
Just the marketplace is missing.
the marketplace. Yeah.